Hi everyone, and welcome back to my channel. I'm here today to open up this vlog. This is going to be week 1 of October 2024 reading vlog slash Becca's book SpookolpyAThon week 1. I am going to participate in Becca's Spookolpy, and this is hosted by Becca from Becca in the Books. I'll leave her channel down below. Excuse me. This is the 6th or 7th year she's done Becca's SpookolpyAthon. It's the 2nd year she's done SpookolpyAthon in October. Usually it was in September, and I have participated. I did not participate last year. I'm not a huge thriller, horror, spooky girl. I like my romance, and that's pretty much all I read. I used to like paranormal and have not read that much lately. I'm sorry if it's dark. The lighting is bad. I am without power, so yeah. But I want to open up this vlog. So as I said, this is like the 6th or 7th year and probably the last year, so that's why I'm participating. And you could Becca made a board, and you could print that out, or you could create your own, and I decided to create my own because I don't have a printer. It's not the best. I'm not an artist, and honestly it could use some work, but it's still functionable. So I'm gonna, for the first time ever, do the roll as I go method. Usually I roll and then don't read any of the books, so I'm gonna try to roll as I go and see how that works. So yeah, but there's the board, and yeah, I'm hopeful to have a good time. And depending on how the power goes for the next few days, we just had Hurricane Helene. We didn't get much rain here, but we did lose power, and we had it back up, but we just lost it like 20 minutes ago, so I don't know how long the power will be out, whatnot, but we'll roll with it. But I am off Wednesday and Thursday, and I think I plan on doing like a 48-hour thing. And Becca has done 48-hour rounds of Becca's Spookolpy, so where she rolls 2 rolls every 12 hours. So I think I'm going to try to do that, but I'm just going to see how many rolls I could do in the 48-hour thing, but that will be also included in this. Also on October 3rd, the 3rd season of Heartstoppers comes out on Netflix. So if I have power, I plan on binge watching that. So yeah, a lot of plans for the week. As I said, I am off Wednesday, Thursday, also Saturday. So I worked today, Tuesday, and Friday. I also worked yesterday, but so I'm tired, but yeah, it is the 30th when I'm filming this, but I don't think I'm gonna read that much today, so there's that. But I am so excited to participate, and yeah, so I am gonna roll and see what book number 1 will be. So here is the board and my little thing and my dice. So roll number 1 is a double. Of course. And it's 8. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Present. So that means a book you want to read now. And yeah. So number one landed on present, and it was a double, so we do have to add another roll. And for this one, I originally was gonna read Consider Me by Becca Mack, but then on October 1st I got my art copy of Until Then by Micalea Smeltzer, and this one is the one I am going to read for present, because this comes out later this month, so I need to read it and I really want to read it. This is a spin-off of 11:11. This follows V's sister Izzy and Reed's dad Derek. This is an age gap romance, and I'm super excited to read it. So yes, this will be the one for present. I am going to start this, and I've already started it. I'm not very far in. I'm on chapter 3, so I still have a long ways to go, but I'm gonna read that throughout the remainder few days. I do work tomorrow, so I don't know how much of it tomorrow I'll read, but I do have a little bit of time tonight, so I probably will read some tonight, and then, as I said, tomorrow. But the majority of it I want to read on Saturday during the 24 hours that I'm gonna do this for. And yeah, but I'm very excited to read it. Hi everyone, so I finished rule number 1 prompt, which was present, and I changed it to Fearless Enough by Kelly Elliott. This one was a reread for me. This is book 1 in the Love of Montana series. I would like to read the series this month because the 8th, 9th, I don't even know, let's look, comes out. The 8th one comes out this month, and I've only read the first 2, so I like to read the series this month. This is a small town romance series, cowboy series. This follows Blaze, who you meet in the Never Enough. This is a spin-off series of that series for the kids, and this is a second chance romance. This follows Blaze, who is was a bull rider, but he stopped, and Georgina, who is a like reporter-ish, but she's also into fashion and whatnot, and she has a job to write about Blaze and his family, and she comes back to Montana, and it's their story. I'm giving this a 4.5 out of 5 stars. I really enjoyed it. I listened to the audiobook of this, and yeah, I'm very excited to continue on with that series, and yeah. Roll number 2 is 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Jason. Oh, I'm gonna have to remember what that is, but I think that is to read like a final girl, like a survival thing, if I remember correctly. For rule number 2, we landed on Jason, and since I have no internet, I forget sort of what this one is, so I have to pick a book later. But as I said, it is the 30th and I'm not planning on reading, so I'll pick one tomorrow and hopefully we have internet then. But I will, I have to get ready to go to work, and when I'm at work, I'll look up what Jason means, and I'll probably pick a book when I get home from work, but depending on power and whatnot, I'll let you know tomorrow. But I'm pretty sure it's like read a survival novel or summer campy novel, so we'll see. But I might interpret it, read a final book in a series is how I think I'm going to go with this, but I'll let you know when I actually see what the prompt is. So role number 2 was Jason, and that is I know in the clip I said that it was like a survival final girl thing, but it's actually to read a book with 13 letters in the title, and for this one I am doing Devil of Dublin by B.B. Easton. And yeah, this is a dark romance that has 13 letters in it, so yeah. So rule number 2 landed on Jason, and in that video I thought it was to read like a survival campy final girl book, but it is actually to read a book with 13 letters in the title, and for that I'm gonna do Devil of Dublin by B.B. Easton. This is book 1 in this series, and I've actually already started this one. I am on chapter 16, and that's 153 pages in. I have this one on audio, and I think I have like an hour and 40-ish minutes left, so this one may be done before the 24-hour readathon, and if so, I will roll again, but I think I'm just gonna leave it for the readathon, and that way I will feel accomplished. But I am very much enjoying this so far. This follows Darby, and her grandfather lives in Dublin, Ireland, and she goes to visit him every like summer, I think, and there he tells her a little bit of like fairies and witches and like story, and she goes in the forest when she's like 7, and she sees this boy, and then it's like every year she goes back, and then it's time jumps like 20 years, 15 years, I don't remember, but it's a time jump, and she goes after her grandfather passes away, and she thinks Kellen is dead. He's the boy, and then something happens and she realizes he's not dead. And yes, I really enjoyed this so far. As I said, I'm like chapter 16, but I am really enjoying this so far, and yeah. So I finished rule number 2 last night, and that was for Jason, which is to read a 13 letter book, and I read Devil of Dublin by B.B. Easton. This one I'm giving 4 stars, and it is a dark romance set in Ireland, which I really loved that. I listened to this on audio, and there was Irish accents, and yes, it was a really good audio. This does deal with some sexual assault, abuse, and sexual like abuse with minors. So it is dark, and just be aware. It also talks about murder. So but this follows Darby, who goes to Ireland to visit her grandpa, and while she's there she is like 7, and he tells her about fairies and like witches and all of that stuff behind his house, and she goes in searching for a fairy, and one day she meets a boy who is mysterious, and his name is Kellen, and then she comes every summer and they spend time together, and then she stops coming, and then it's like it skips like 10-20 years later, I forget how much, and she is back, and she is back because her grandpa dies, so she gets his land and everything, and yeah, I really enjoyed this. As I said, I gave it 4 out of 5 stars, and I'm very excited that I've read it, and the second book in this series is out, so I might pick that up fairly soon, and yeah. Rule number 3 is 8, and it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and it's the I never could say that, but let me see what that is. So I am about 30% in Until Then by Micalea Smeltzer. This is an age gap romance that follows the sister of her main character in 1111 and the dad in 1111. So it's a spin-off of 1111, but you can read it as a standalone. This comes out on the 16th of October. I have the art copy, and I'm using this for rule number 3, which is, I landed on Pentacle, I think is how you say it, I don't know, which is to summon a new favorite read, a 5-star prediction, and this is a 5-star prediction because I've never given any Micalea Smeltzer books less than 5 stars. So, and this is an age gap romance that takes place in a small town in Maine. This follows Izzy, who is a social media vlogger. She does interviews sometimes, and she was giving an interview to one of the most famous pop stars right now, and the place she works for, the T, gave her some not nice questions to ask, and the pop star's fans are not so nice to Izzy. They're canceling her, and it's 3 months of those comments and everything. She decides to go visit her sister in Maine, and decide what she wants to do. She wants to be social media vlogging, and then there's nowhere to stay in Maine other than Derek's house, who is her sister's boyfriend's dad and her assistant's dad. So she stays there, and yeah, as I said, this is an age gap. It's 18 years, so not a huge amount of age gap, but I'm really enjoying it. As I said, I'm about 30% in. I am reading this one on my Kindle, so I'm going a little slower because I don't have the audiobook, but yeah, I'm hopeful that I will finish it today, but I'm just gonna take my time with it, so we'll see. But I am gonna roll for rule number 4 here very shortly, and roll for another audiobook. So I finished Until Then by Micalea Smeltzer. I'm giving this 5 out of 5 stars. I really enjoyed this. This is that age gap romance, small town, and it was really, really good. As I said, I gave it 5 stars. This follows Izzy, who is a social media influencer. She posts on videos of her makeup and vlogging and traveling, and she did nothing really wrong, but she was interviewing one of the most popular pop stars and then got canceled, and then she goes to visit her sister in Maine, and she figures out what she wants to do and everything. I really enjoyed this one, and this one comes out on the 16th if you're interested in it, if it sounds good. And yeah. Roll number 4 is 7. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Mood read. Okay. Roll number 4 landed on mood read, and for this one I am going to read Before We Came by Sloane St. James. I have this one on audio. Last month it was on sale, or part of use 1 credit get 1 free, and it sounds really interesting. It's like a romantic suspense, hockey romance, brother's best friend, like everything I love. So yeah, this is the one I'm picking. It's under 3 hours. On audio I've already started and I'm on chapter 3. So yeah, I'm hopeful that I will finish it today. It's like 2 o'clock, so I should be able to, and yeah, so but that will probably be my last roll for the week, and then next week I'll start from mood read and go on. So yeah, hopefully I can finish before we came, and then Until Then. So yeah, so I finished Before We Came by Sloane St. James. This was the first book by this author that I've read, and this is book 1 in the Lake Hockey series. And I gave this 4 out of 5 stars. This I'm not going to tell you too much about because I feel like it's better not knowing too much about it. But there is, on Goodreads, there is trigger warnings, content warnings, which is kidnapping, fatal car accident details, manipulation, suicide mention, off-page child emotional and physical abuse, off-page child death. So you can kind of see what it is about, but again, I just think it's better not knowing. But I really enjoyed it, and I'm very excited to read more by this author. And yeah, for mood read, very glad that I read this. Hi everyone, and welcome back to my channel. I'm here today to open up this vlog. This is gonna be a 24-hour reading vlog, which is not what I had planned for the first week in October for Becca's SpookolpyAThon. But that's how this week went. I live in Georgia, so we were hit with Hurricane Helene. Not as bad as a lot of other places, but I did lose power for a few days, and I just haven't been home because my mom works from home, so we needed power, so we actually went to Hilton Head and stayed there for a few days. They have a timeshare and they had power, so we went over there and I wasn't really able to read or do as much as I wanted to in the first few days of October, which is totally fine. It is what it is, but I have Saturday off and I plan on doing a 24-hour readathon. That will be my first 24-hour readathon that I've done in quite some time. Usually I fail at them, so we'll see how it goes. But I am gonna roll. I've already actually rolled because, as I said, I was planning on doing week-long, and the first roll I got was a double, so I am going to be reading at least 2 books in this one. And it is Thursday, like 7:30. So one of them I have started. It may even be finished before the 24 hours, and the other one I'm gonna start and just slowly read it. But for the majority I want to read it in the 24 hours and go from there. So yeah, I hope everyone is safe and okay, and my heart goes out to the people in Tennessee and North Carolina. The storm was not good to them. And yeah. Hi everyone, I just got home from work. It is probably 8:30, 8:34. I'm gonna make some dinner. I'm making garlic bread, chicken Alfredo pizza, and yeah, as I said, it's about 8:35, so I'm gonna cook dinner, eat dinner, and then I am going to start my 24-hour readathon. It'll probably be like 9:30, 10 when I start. Wow, it's dark. So yeah, but I'm gonna listen to Devil of Dublin and read until then. Will be the first 2 books I read and go from there. But I just wanted to update and yeah. So it is about 9:30. I just ate, so I am going to start the 24 hours at 9:30. So I'm gonna read it until 9:30 tonight, until 9:30 tomorrow night. That does not mean I'm gonna read straight, because I'm not. I'm gonna sleep, but my main goal is to finish Devils of Dublin tonight. I think I have an hour and 45 minutes, so I'm gonna listen to that and yeah, and go from there. So I will update when I finish. So I just finished Devil of Dublin by B.B. Easton, and I'm giving this 4 stars. I really did enjoy it, and I'll talk more about it tomorrow. It is 11:05, so I am going to roll for roll number 3 and hope I get an audiobook, and then I am going to read some until then, and then go to sleep. So yeah, so roll number 3, we landed on Pentacle, which is to summon a new favorite book. So read a 5-star prediction. So I am going to think on that, and I'll pick one over. Actually, no. I'm gonna reread because I want to reread it. The book 1 in Love in Montana series by Kelly Elliott, and it's Fearless Enough. Yeah. Is that cheating because it's rereading? You know what? I might switch present with Fearless Enough, and then this one will be Until Then. Is that cheating too? No, that's what I'm gonna do. I'm swapping. This one will be for Until Then, and then Fearless Enough will be for present. So yeah, so it is 9:30 now, so this 24-hour readathon is officially over, and I finished 3 books and read about 40% of another one, so I did relatively good. And I really honestly didn't really try to read all that much in the 24 hours, so I'm pretty happy with what I did read. And as I said, it's 9:30. I'm about 70% through Until Then by Micalea Smeltzer, so I plan on reading that some more before I go to bed. But I'm just probably gonna watch some YouTube videos and read for a little bit, and go to bed. I will finish Until Then tomorrow before I go to work, or I plan to. So yeah, but I am officially done. Tomorrow I will do a wrap-up of the books I read, and yeah, but I just wanted to say it is officially over. And yeah. So this is gonna be my wrap-up of what I read this week, slash in the 24 hours. So the first one, for roll number 1, I read Fearless Enough by Kelly Elliott, and this was for present. I gave this a 4.5 out of 5 stars. This is book 1 in the Love in Montana series. This was a reread. This follows Blaze and Georgina. This is a small town cowboy romance. Bull rider, journalist, and I really enjoyed it. Listened to it on audio. Then I read for prompt number 2, which was Jason. I read Devils of Dublin by B.B. Easton. I gave this one 4 out of 5 stars, and I really enjoyed it. It was a dark Irish mafia romance that follows Kellen and Darby, and I would say this is kind of like a second chance romance too, but I really enjoyed it. As I said, check the trigger warnings if you have any, because it is a dark romance, so yes. Then for roll number 4, I read Before We Came by Sloane St. James, and this was for mood read. I give this one 4 out of 5 stars. It's book 1 in the Lake Hockey series. I don't want to tell you too much about this one because I think it's better going in blind, but check the trigger warnings for this one too. This is a romantic suspense, hockey romance, second chance, really good. And then finally I read my art copy of Until Then by Micalea Smeltzer. And I gave this one 5 out of 5 stars. And this one comes out on the 16th of October. This is a small town romance following Izzy and Derek. It's also an age gap romance. Izzy is an influencer and she gets canceled and decides to go to Maine to visit her sister for a while, and when she gets there she moves in with her sister's boyfriend's dad slash her she has a her assistant's dad too. So yes, but I really recommend this. This is a spinoff of 1111. You don't have to read 1111 to read this one, but I would recommend it because 1111 is her sister and her boyfriend's son's book, so you'll get to meet them. And yeah, this is a gorgeous cover. And yeah, those are the 4 books I read this week, and I'm very excited about all of the books I read, and I'm excited to see what next week roles are. Next week I'm gonna do it a little differently. I think I'm gonna do 5 roles and just read them throughout the week, and then the following week I think I'm gonna roll as I go and then switch off, see which one I prefer. So yeah, thanks for watching, and if you've read any of these books, what did you think of them? And if you're participating in SpookolpyAthon, what did you end up reading? And I'll see everyone later. Bye!